From New York, it's That Kevin Show.
See, I knew it.
Come on, Kev. What's a few classified documents between friends?
I told you all the time. I knew it. I knew he had some too.
Here he is, That Kevin McCullough.
Welcome back from Times Square. It's Kevin McCullough. Couldn't be happier than to have you with us on That Kevin Show. Witty title we came up with. Anyway, glad to welcome back my very good friend, Governor Mike Huckabee. Hello, sir.
And Kevin, great to be with you, and thank you for having me this weekend.
You've always got a welcome mat out at our door, but you know who doesn't have a welcome mat, and it's concerning? Evidently, Ukrainians have a welcome mat. Evidently, the Middle East has a welcome mat. Evidently, Afghanistan still getting $1.2 billion a year from us. Didn't know that was going on. I thought they were kind of not so friendly with us anymore. Anyway, I saw a whole list of these payouts that we've been doing this year. And Kamala Harris, in an attempt to, I don't know, probably try to recreate the Obama-Chris Christie beach hug after Sandy, goes to the area yesterday and announces a $750 coupon for everybody. Hey, guys, come get your coupon. I really care about your plight. Governor, you, as the governor of Arkansas, and I've spent time in Arkansas and North Carolina. I happen to love both states. I think both of them have a lot of beauty, and they're very similar in a lot of ways. What went through your mind as you're hearing her respond and what you know the people are needing at that point in time?
Well, I was appalled, first of all, that the Homeland Security Director hasn't even been there, that he's thinking it's wonderful to give a $750 assistance check when an illegal comes across and they get a hotel room, meals, medical care, education for their kids, and a $1,500 gift card. And they don't have to tell anybody who they are. They can get on an airplane without a photo ID, without any identification, with nothing more than a little slip of paper. And you got people who are fighting for their lives in North Carolina, Georgia, and other places across this Southeast. And what they're getting is basically, middle finger from the federal government and a $750. By the way, I hope this helps out a little bit. Look, I just think it's tragic when the people who are doing the most work are people like Samaritan's Purse,
right,
and other relief organizations, the Southern Baptist Men, people like that who are down there. Thank God they are there, because without them, they would really be in trouble. And then you look at people like the Cajun Navy and Corey Mills, the congressman from Florida. They're marshaling private resources that are doing things that, frankly, the government ought to do. Look, I was governor of a state that went through many natural disasters, floods, ice storms, many tornadoes. And we were affected dramatically by Hurricane Katrina. We weren't on the coast, but we took in 75,000 evacuees to our state. I'm going to tell you what you have to do. It has to be all hands on deck. And you have to shove everything else off your schedule and table when you're managing a crisis of this magnitude. And Joe's hanging out at the beach, Kamala's doing fundraisers, and, they were on the phone an hour or two. That's not what it takes. It takes an absolute concentrated full-time attention, because you have to bring in the assets, bring in the resources, and you have to manage them and make sure that people are being accountable for how those assets and resources are deployed.
I almost thought what a capstone and kind of a summary of the campaign it is to see the response to this, because within less than a day, Donald Trump was headed there with plane loads and truckloads of help. He starts the GoFundMe page. That's over 5 million in terms of what it's taken in just from private citizens trying to help their fellow citizens. But as you said, all hands on deck. Eric and Laura are down there. I'm pretty sure that Junior and Kimberly are working things to benefit those that are in need. And you have kind of an, all in or nothing kind of mentality. And I keep telling my listeners today, this isn't a campaign cycle kind of thing for the Trumps. This is what they did in Puerto Rico. He got made fun of for how he threw the paper towel rolls to the people that needed them. But he was there. You know who wasn't there? Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. You didn't see anybody like that down there. And he's not using taxpayer money to help these people. He's using his funds, his resources, and he's encouraging others to join him in that effort. But you talk about seeing a need, responding to it, boom, bringing an answer, trying to get as much help marshaled and as much attention as he can, as fast as he can. Meanwhile, and I know Joe's not in the race anymore, but he's out on the beach in Delaware. Kamala comes back as you said, she took a phone call. She faked a phone call first. She faked a phone call on Air Force Two, but her earbuds weren't connected. She had nothing on the paper she was writing on. It was really weird. I don't know why they do that. Everything about that campaign has been fake so far. But even just getting briefed by FEMA, that's not doing much, especially when you're out of money at FEMA. If she really passionately cared, she should be down there with boots on, passing out water, doing what she can, and saying, I'm going to at least draw attention. Hey, Clooney, hey, Roberts, hey, all the people, Streep, all you people, wanting to give out money to make a difference. Hey, how about now?
If she would raise as much money for the victims of the hurricane as she did for the people who burned down Minneapolis and the rest of Minnesota,
thank you.
Police cars and fire stations and private businesses, those folks would be in better shape. Quite frankly, when you're the leader, it's not about getting a report from those who answer to you. It's being there in their presence and making sure that they are answering to you and what you are commanding them to do. She has no commands because she doesn't have a clue what needs to be done. There's no leadership. And I'm sorry, that sounds harsh and crass, but in the midst of a crisis, you find out what a person is made of and are they capable of managing a crisis? What we've seen is neither Joe nor Kamala are capable of managing a crisis. They just disappear. They turn it over to some other people and hope they do. Can I tell you one thing a lot of people don't understand? They'll say, well, politicians shouldn't go to these places anyway. They're busy. They're, trying to deal with things. Let me tell you why they should go.
But if you're an elected leader, you're not just a politician.
Well, exactly.
You're
and
holding a job that the people need you to do.
When you're there, though, I'll tell you what happens. Every camera and every reporter and notebook in America goes with you. So what you really are doing is you're helping to call attention to the extraordinary, incredible problem that is being faced that would never be told except you're there, and the press can't ignore this story. They have to report it because they're reporting it in the context of the leader being there. I'm going to be fair. The best president in my lifetime of dealing with a crisis like this was Bill Clinton. Say what you want to about anything, Bill Clinton's policies or his personal life. But when it came to managing a crisis, Bill Clinton was on the spot. He had been a governor in a small state, happened to be the one that I am once governor of. But he understood that presence is what matters at a time like this. And he never failed to show up in the aftermath of a natural disaster. And it was sincere on his part. I'll give him credit for that. Yeah. We don't see that from Joe. I know Joe, according to his exit speech, he is going to spend his last month saving democracy. And I guess the best way he's decided to save democracy is staying out of the way of real democracy and letting America reelect Donald Trump to be president, because the Lord knows that's the best hope we have going forward.
It'll be interesting. I think that Governor DeSantis in Florida deserves a shout out on his handling of this crisis and some other ones too. But even we also forget there's a strike going on with our ports, and that threatened to stop Florida's ability to respond to the disaster. And he said, over my dead body, and he's not letting that happen. So that's what leadership is: stepping up to the moment and taking charge and making sure that the things get done. And boy, do we need that. Like we've not needed it in a really long time, especially in Washington. All right. Thanks as always for checking in. Kevin McCullough coming right back from New York. Don't go away.
Stick around for more of That Kevin. Next, That Kevin Show with Kevin McCullough.